That. Well, I suppose prophecy isn't exactly the right word, because that where to begin? Let's put that question on hold for a moment.
Did all the introductions earlier not?
Hello, traveler. And hello, Paimon.
Hey! Why didn't Paimon get a handshake? You're not poking fun at Paimon!
Please, don't take offense. Just consider it a sort of etiquette we have here.
Oh! No, by the way, we were just...
So you're going to see Lady Farina? No problem at all. In fact, please follow me. You said you were going to see Lady Farina?
So...
My dear.
Are you sure that's all she took?
No, anyway, I should be good.
Oh, were you returning what the thief had stolen?
That's right. Pity I wasn't able to catch her. She distracted me by dropping the thing she stole on the ground. By the time I looked back, she was already...
I saw the general direction she went, but Lenny twisted his ankle, and I needed to make sure he was okay.
Oh,
I'll be alright. It's just a twisted ankle, that's all.
If you want to play at being a hero, at least try not to get hurt doing it.
You're right. I have to admit that the thief was even more skilled than I had anticipated, but at least we were able to get the stolen...
what a slippery little thief!
Alright.
So, we ride this thing to go into the city? What an ingenious...
This is an aquabus. It allows people to travel between several key... It's pretty convenient, but the ride can become a little dull after a while.
So you mean it's still boring even when I'm riding with you?
No, that's not what I meant. It's just that, well, besides, it doesn't really feel like a real trip when it's just the two of us. It's the same...
Guess that's what it's like to be an older brother.
It's about time for us to leave. Let's get...
Huh?
What? Traveler! Paimon!
Charlotte!
I'd never guessed I'd bump into you while riding the aquabus. In the story of my life, this is... What are you doing in Fontaine? I didn't hear anything about you paying us a visit.
Yeah, it's quite the coincidence. But as travelers, we're always on the move. It's not surprising that nobody knew we were... though we still have no idea how the Hydro Archon knew about us. Oh!
Oh, no need for introductions, Paimon. I would recognize the great magician Lenny and I wouldn't be much of a reporter if I didn't know who they were. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Charlotte, a reporter for this...
Nice to meet you. From the Steambird, huh? We've often relied on your paper to promote our
It's an honor to meet you.
Now that everyone knows each other, Fontaine suddenly doesn't feel... So, what have you been up to lately, Charlotte?
Not too much. When there isn't any breaking news, I mainly cover the trials of... You can still manage to keep readers' attention as long as you tell things from a clever enough angle. For example, reporting on how a scammer once deceived vulnerable girls into relationships, or how a financial criminal was once so poor that they ate a single piece of bread for 5 days. You're right. Seems you know me pretty well. What I'm really after is exclusive, sensational news pieces that could shake the country. Oh, I just remembered. I've been following a case lately. Well, a series of cases, actually. You mean the serial disappearances of young women? That's right. These stories are the talk of the town right now, and it's if I'm the first with a draft ready to publish when the case is finally cracked. Oh, when that happens, I bet all the other reporters will shed tears of envy. I've already gathered up.
So, what is the serial disappearance?
That's right. The first missing girl case happened and ever since, after a period of time, another girl disappeared. But the scariest part is that to this day, many suspects have been arrested over the years in connection with this case. But shortly after each arrest, another disappearance would always happen. Yes, it's possible. But either way, I believe that every case has some precise...
Yes, I agree. And at the very least, the family of those missing... I just imagined for a second what I would do if Lynette were to suddenly disappear. I'd pay any price to get her back, and then find a way to track down the culprit.
Please don't imagine that, Lenny.
Hey, we're almost there! Look!
Well, I really enjoyed chatting with you.
Yeah, us as well.
I have an interview to get to.
Okay, I'm in hopes we...
Bye now. Oh, be sure to stop.
What a tough job. Always running around...
If you don't mind, how about we stop by my home first? Besides, I still...
Sure, we wouldn't mind at all.
This is our current abode. Ah, Fremine, you're home. Where did everyone else...
Oh, they all just went out a moment.
I see. Everyone is getting busier now that Father will be returning. Allow me to introduce you to my little brother, Fremine.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. Paimon is Paimon.
Lenny, could you come here for a moment?
What is it, Fremine? Do you have something to tell me? Okay, I see.
Is everything alright?
Oh, it's nothing. We were just discussing a little housework. Sorry. Oh, before I forget, the Traveler and I collected more materials to make magic pockets. Were you able to...
Yes, I went diving and gathered lots of materials. I was about...
That's our Fremine, always quick with the underwater work. All right.
Looks like rain.
Oh, you're right. But wasn't it clear and sunny just a moment ago?
I'm afraid that's just how it is here. It often rains on days where there are trials being held in the Opera House, but don't worry.
What's wrong, Fremine?
There's a legend about the rain that I tend to believe. It's said that a dragon of water once resided in Fontaine. Though we don't know where the dragon went, every time it weeps, the skies will... When I was a child, my mother told me that if I wanted to go outside and play, I should yell, "Hydro Dragon! Hydro Dragon! Don't cry!"
If it's an elemental dragon, then having the power to make it rain wouldn't be... Let Paimon try something. Hydro Dragon, don't cry!
Doesn't seem to be of any use. It is just a legend after all.
You know, you might be a more popular magician if you understood the concept of romanticism. Or could at least...
Sorry, it might be because we've never met the Hydro Dragon. It rained for longer than I suspected.
Was there something you needed to do?
Yeah, some preparations for the show at the Opera House. On the day of the performance, just ride the aquabus to the island of Araneus. I'll have...
Are you leaving?
What is it, Fremine? I'm in a hurry. Perhaps we could trouble the Traveler. I'm afraid that Fremine can be quite...
No trouble at all. Don't worry.
Sorry for the inconvenience.
Oh, no need.
Well, it's so little, but basically, everything we usually use here in the city is powered by indemnitium. It's a type of energy.
Huh? How can trials
Well, I'm not completely sure of all the details. When a trial is in session, the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale harvests people's belief in justice.
So that's what its other function is? But Paimon still doesn't get it. Oh, yeah! So that means the Hydro Archon relies on the machine to take the energy created...
Even though I've never heard anyone really put it that way before, besides indemnitium, we have another type of energy called numus. It isn't produced by the power of the Archon, but it is unstable by nature. Even now, it's still...
I thought I'd find you hard at work, but here you are chatting the day away. Since you're already talking, I'm sure...
You again? Didn't I already promise you that I'd have the more I owe to Confrérie of Cabriere by next month?
Yeah, but how do we know that you won't go running off by the end of this month? I want 50% to...
Huh? You...
Seems business isn't so great for the workshop.
Hey, hold on. Before you go around trying to collect payments, why don't you settle your own debts first? If Confrérie of Cabriere wants to poach clients from Northland Bank, that's fine. But I'm afraid you still owe the bank a hefty sum of...
You're from Northland Bank. But we said we'll pay everything we owe next...
Traveler, Paimon! I didn't think I'd run into you here in Fontaine. What are the chances?
We're surprised to see you too. What are you doing here?
Long story short, I've already been in Fontaine for some time now. And honestly, but it seems that fate brought our paths together today. Not only will I have some good friends here now, but ones who always seem to find... Either way you look at it, it seems things are going to get a lot more...
Pretty sure we avoid anything that you'd fight.
Hey, you! Northland Bank boy.
Don't interrupt. It's not often I run into the traveler like this. Why don't you wait for me over there?
You kidding? Aren't you the one looking for us? You really expect us to sit and twiddle our thumbs while you... Listen to me, boy. If you want your Mora, fine. Why don't...
Hey, I just said not to interrupt. Oh, by the way, traveler, the last time I took Tonya and Tusser ice fishing...
Hey! That's way over the line! All right, boys!
Can you at least let me finish one sentence? Fine. Though the bank told me not to get rough with her, you're the ones who started it. This is an act of self-defense. You two will have to be my...
I'm unsure this will...
Brace yourself. This is gonna hurt.
Wow! Who could have seen that coming? The report... sorry. The whodunits... It's so exciting to reach the Lenny said that the Opera House... Huh? Oh, it's Farina, the Hydro Archon. Huh. She sure has a smug and satisfied...
Very good. That is for the best. No need to pay her any more attention. We may now...
Huh? So is this what things are like between the Chief Justice and the High...
All right, please wait just a moment longer. I've pretty much finished my preparations and the performance will start.
Yay! The show's finally about to start! Boy, Monkey hardly would... Oh! They're dimming the lights! The show must be starting! Sorry. Paimon will try...
Welcome, one and all, to the Opera Epiclese. I am the star of today's show, Linny. And over here is my sister, Lynette, who will be working as my wonderful assistant. Please,
Hello, everyone.
I know she may seem to be a little sleepy right now, but that's just a sign that she's...
Whatever.
Now, some of you may be thinking, two vision holders who can freely manipulate elemental powers performing magic is not so. I would like to take a moment to assure you that elemental powers will have nothing to do with what you will witness on the stage. Both Lynette and myself have removed our visions for the show. That way, even the gods won't be able to help.
Oh, good point. That's what makes the show...
Now, without further ado, let the show begin. I know you might miss her, but don't worry. She'll be coming right back on stage momentarily. Perhaps in an unexpected way. I'm sure she'll be stealing the spotlight. Oh, and before I forget, there's one more thing I should say. You never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. A magician's greatest skill is making things disappear or appear. The possibilities are endless. But this isn't what you came for. These little tricks, you've seen them all before. So it's time for something truly extraordinary, don't you think? This one's a little tricky. Using this water tank, my sister vanished completely, right before your very eyes. It's actually quite simple. she'll just turn into air bubbles and float right out of the top. Oh no! I told them to check all the props carefully. With the lid on, even air can't escape. An amateur magician would be getting very nervous right around now. Luckily, it's me on stage, so let me show you what a true virtuoso can do. Lynette, are you still there? Don't go too far. We don't want to use up all our magic.
Hi, I'm back.
Huh?
Whoa! What in the world just happened? How did he do that? Wasn't Lynette inside the water tank? How did she disappear and then...
If we could see easily through his tricks, then that would mean that his skills are still. To appreciate magic, you should focus on the show happening on stage, rather than getting caught up in trying to see that which has been intentionally.
Guess you're right. Paimon couldn't believe her eyes when Lynette reappeared. Amazing!
Thank you everyone. I'm glad you but our magical journey has only just begun. I've prepared even more astonishing surprises. The magic of transformation and disappearance can go far beyond you've just seen. I'm sure many of you are thinking that escaping the water tank was impressive enough. In which case, I have ample time. So, for my next trick, I will require the Please, if my assistants could. There are 2 boxes and only 2 boxes. One is here, and one is there in the aisle among the audience. I'm sure many of our clever audience members have already guessed Our lucky audience member and I will each enter a magic box. After 1 minute, we will eat. Now please, everyone pay very close attention to the box you see here. Don't give me any—
Wow! How's he getting... Hey, do you think this is all magic tricks? Or does Lenny have actual superpowers?
The lucky audience member will be generated by this. It selects numbers entirely at random. Even I don't know who will be chosen to participate. Now then, let's begin. Let me see. Oh, row 7, seat 3. Congratulations! You now have the chance to experience. Please, come forward. My assistant will take you beside the magic box. I'm sorry, it might be a little cramped inside, but no need to feel nervous. We've carefully arranged everything for you to be a— You don't need to do anything, but no matter what strange things may happen, if the magic is interrupted, who knows where you might end up. You might even find yourself in the Fortress of Mid—
Oh,
All right. Before I enter the magic box, there is one more thing I need to ask the audience to do. Could you all give me a countdown like this? 60, 59, 58. Just keep counting down. I won't be able to see anything. Pitch black box, so I'll be— Oh, and no tricks now. If you quickly count from 60 in just 30 seconds, then I'll be in a tough spot.
Ooh! Paimon kinda wants to count faster.
No, that won't do. I can see it in your eyes. You still can't be trusted. Come on, repeat after me. 60, 59, 58. 60, 59! That's right, perfect. Keep it going. All right, I'll see you all on the other side once you've finished counting.
54, 53, 52? Why aren't you counting, Nerville?
I am counting in my head. I think things are exciting enough in here as merely a consequence of my identity and personality.
Oh, alright. You look so serious that Paimon thought you might be feeling a—
40, 39, 38. Mr. Linney, are you all right in there?
Yes, I'm fine. I'm just double-checking the direction. It would be a disaster if we get sent to the wrong places. For example—
Even though he's saying that, Lenny doesn't seem nervous at all. sure. Anyway,
25! What's wrong, Mr. Linney? I can still hear.
I seem to have accidentally knocked over a decoration. I'm trying to fix it, but it's pitch black.
Never mind the decorations. There's no time for that. The show.
No, that's unacceptable. I want my show to be perfect.
19! 18!
It seems things aren't quite going as planned. It feels like you're all starting to count faster, but that's all right. I know 10 seconds and change is still plenty of...
10! Almost there now. Whew. Swapping two people is harder work than you might think. Even a master magician like me can't guarantee I'll get it right the first time. Hey, wait! Is this the back one? Can't tell, they both look the same inside. Huh? Nope, that's not it. I'll try again.
7!
Hey, slow down! Honestly!
5! 4! 3!
Whoops! That doesn't count!
0!
Ta-da!
what happened? Is this part of the show? Mr. Linney, you're going to use magic to fix the stage now.
What happened?
Oh no. Maybe this isn't part of the show. The girl was still in.
This performance is over. Medical staff with me. Guards, secure the scene and detain all the performers. Seal the exits. No one is allowed in or out at the...
Yes, that's right. If this was just an accident, then we must investigate the cause. But if this was all part of some scheme, then those accountable...
No need to be alarmed, you two. We'll get to the bottom of this soon enough. Unfortunately, the person who is in the magic box has been pronounced dead. His name was Cowell, one of the assistants in Linney's magic troupe. Apparently, the fireworks on stage ignited the ropes that were suspending the water tank, which then caused the tank to fall. As of now, we are still not sure why we found Cowell in the box. And after an initial search of the area, the guards have confirmed that the girl is nowhere to be found. It appears that this incident was not merely some mishap with the performance. And there are many indications that it is connected with the case of the serial disappearances of young women.
The serial...
That's the case that Charlotte mentioned before.
I know the truth. I can see through the whole thing. Really, using such a shallow and obvious mystery as his finale. Did he I say that our powerful magician, Mr. Linney, is now the prime suspect for the serial disappearances.
Huh? Why me? This whole thing was an accident.
No, this all occurred during your magic show, did it not? The missing girl disappeared after being chosen, did she not? The deceased is one of your assistants, is he? Now that I think about it, that whole speech about magicians making things disappear was nothing more than a provocation, a bald-faced...
That can't be right. How can Linney do that? He was in the box on the stage the entire time. Besides, before the show, he told us they would like to catch the criminal behind the disappearances.
Save discussion for a later time, please. Lady Farina, may I assume that your comments just now constitute an accusation against Mr. Linney and his associates, and that you are pressing charges?
I just think that he... Well, I think it might be a little early to talk about formally.
But what Lady Farina said just now makes perfect sense.
Looks like she's gonna personally deliver justice.
A kidnapping and murder carried out under the cover of a magic show.
I mean, of course, my dear people. But what excites me even more than the, that's right. I mean you, traveler. You'll support Lenny, won't you? After all, he was the one who helped you the first time we... Then there's no problem at all. You know, the Traveler and I already had a duel the first time, but with Lenny's help, our little duel ended in a draw. But draws really are the most boring possible, so no more draws. Between the two of us, there must be a clear winner and loser.
In a draw? She obviously...
I understand. Charges have now been pressed, and as well, traveler, seems Lady Farina has set you in her sights. But putting her dramatic rhetoric aside for a moment, are you willing to act as Mr. Linney's attorney and defend him in this case? Very well. The trial will be held a day from now in the Opera House. Both sides may investigate the scene to build their cases and search for the... Linney and his troop are all potential suspects and shall remain. The audience may begin to leave in an orderly fashion once they have been cleared by the guard.
A day isn't that long. Let's see what kind of case this big shot outlander can build in such a short amount of time.
Lenny!
Sorry about everything that happened just now.
Of course! Who wouldn't be scared after
Yeah, I'm a little shaken up I know you already claimed that you would defend me, but now it's just us talk. I understand. I'm sure everyone sees me as the biggest suspect at this point. But if you ask me, the whole thing is mysteries layered upon mysteries, such that all that's left is confused. I don't know whether what happened there on the stage was purely an accident or not. And I don't know why as for how that girl chosen from the audience could suddenly disappear, I'm afraid I don't... Even a skilled and knowledgeable magician like myself couldn't pull all that off in just 1 minute.
Which is precisely why we need to investigate! As this book says, the impossible could not have happened. Whatever happened must have been that which is possible. Paimon bought them when we were reading at the bookshop in the city earlier. Don't worry, Paimon used her own savings to buy them. It wasn't from our travel...
I think they look cute on you, Paimon.
You have good taste, Lynette!
That's the right attitude. Feeling depressed isn't going to help me now. I need to get back to my but with the guards watching our every move, it's going to be especially difficult for Lynette and I to prove our own. Good thing you agreed to be our attorneys.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, just leave it to... since we're going to start investigating, Paimon has a question first. Where did Lynette go during the performance?
Oh, well... I'm afraid that would involve some of our essential trade secrets as magicians.
The secrets behind our magic are past saving.
I suppose you're right. The truth behind our tricks is going to be important evidence that will be weighted during the trial. 'Tis truly a pity. As a magician, our magic show is a work of art. We've poured countless hours and spared no effort in perfecting it. But if revealing our secrets will help you uncover the truth behind what happened, then it will be well worth it. We should go somewhere else if we're going to discuss our magic tricks. Go speak with the guards and...
Alright, let's go have a look while the investigation teams are... Hello, officer. How's the investigation going?
I see.
Huh?
Come with me and you'll see. The deceased is one of Linny's assistants named Cal. Even though he hadn't joined the troop long, he was hardworking, and the assistants are usually in charge of setting up and inspecting the props, as well as assisting with the show and keeping the... As you probably saw when you were in the audience, the water tank suddenly fell. And this is the real mystery. We've already searched the scene and were unable to find any traces. However, if you look carefully, the box was positioned directly under the water tank. The ropes holding the tank were then burned by the pyrotechnics on stage. All these factors lining up so perfectly makes it hard to see this as a mere act. If anything, the more logical explanation is that the whole incident was intentionally planned, and Linny is the most likely person to have access to—
But he doesn't have a motive.
Are you both good friends of—
Well, you can't say we're good friends, but we've known each—
So in just a short time, he was not only able to win your trust, but even convince you to act as his attorneys. I know there's no such thing as magic. The real trick of a magician is holding the audience in the palm of— I've seen a lot of cases, and I can tell you— Sorry, I tend to be pretty straightforward. Just know that I'm warning you for your own good. Anyway, you may investigate the scene of the crime yourselves if you're curious. Who knows, maybe you'll be able to come up with some new evidence.
The investigation.
See?
Sorry to interrupt, but we're helping Linny and Lynette with their side of the investigation.
You're trying to help them?
Linny used the machine. Well,
It turns out, I'm sure you already know. In other words,
That much tech.
let you see why I was saying it'd be tough to make a cake.
So this is the. The rope looks pretty durable. How can it be burned through so quick by fireworks? Why are you suddenly so serious, traveler? Whoa. Most of it was burned away, but there's still a little bit of it left. Huh. Wait. Hello there.
The seats were all booked in advance. Sure. It's not. Her name is Halls. Apparently, the magic troupe. Simply put, she wasn't related to the magic troupe at all. That's how it seems to. No need to be. It is of utmost.
I see that you're investigating. If you find any.
We don't have to. The Thud?
Yes, exactly. It's just that everyone was awaiting the results of Linny's trick with bated breath. I'm of the opinion when the pirate.
Wait. What?
Perhaps the balance. Oh, that's true.
That does.
Lenny's still looking to the guard. I think someone will be assigned.
Hey, you! Yes, both of you. Over.
Huh? You mean us?
That's right. If I'm not mistaken, you're also among those who wish to cut down the thorns and pursue the truth. No? And
Well, you're right on the more about that one, but who are you?
have you never, from mediating disputes and providing protection to solving conundrums, you name it, Spina di Rosula and I, Navia, have the honor of being its renowned president. though those who play by our rules call me boss.
I'm Silver, her attendant. Pleased to meet you.
And I'm Melus. Demoiselle's various daily needs and affairs are under my
Huh? Boss? Demoiselle? What gives with the names?
Well, I am the second generation president. Malus and the others are still used to my...
My apologies, Demoiselle. Should you prefer, boss, I will endeavor to use that instead.
No need. You don't have to call me boss. Just Navia is fine.
Okay, if you say so.
All merely trifling details. Never mind. Now, back to the situation. That's right. I've always kept an eye on the serial disappearance cases. Good things.
Really? We think so. We think so too. That's what. But how did?
Intuition, naturally. Farina sure was quick to point the finger at Linny without any decisive evidence. But that's not uncommon for her. If you remember, the justice had to interrupt her and ask if she was pressing charges just to keep her. Anyway, a trial begins the moment someone levels charges. And, of course, there was no way Farina was going to back down and...
Sounds more like you just don't trust the Hydra.
Well, what's your opinion? I must admit that she can be interesting. All right, I've answered your question.
Wait a minute.
Well, I say it does. In your opinion, do you think it's right to treat a trial like it's an
well...
And why would that be? See, Silver and Malus?
Most astute of you, Demoiselle. I too think that the travelers, no matter how wonderful the script or how fervent the audience's expectations may be, that if that can be done, boss...
All right, that's quite enough, Malus. Anyway, now, I need to make some preparations, following which our joint...
Wait! Since when did we become assistants?
Oh, well, I can be the assistant. Sure. Or your companion.
That's more like it.
Far be it from me to brag, but I believe that Demoiselle's intuit. You wish to save a friend from false accusations, and we wish to unravel the disappearances.
You have a point. Huh. And what about you over there? What do you think? You seem like you've got something on your mind.
I have nothing to add.
Oh, all right.
We'll be making some preparations first.
Sorry, but...
No, we're not. Were you always...
Yes, after the Chief Justice gave the order, everyone coming in or out, so the missing girl couldn't have left from here. And I doubt there was much opportunity that...
How can you be so sure?
Well, because I was in charge of security near the entrance and I couldn't see Linny's performance from here, which was quite a shame. But still, I did not abandon my post. And I stayed put no matter how loud the applause was. If someone had so much as even approached the door, I would have noticed it. We Melazines are good at that sort of thing, you know.
So, it's safe to say the girl couldn't have left through here. All right, thank you for your help. We've checked everything of note here at the performance venue. My mom wonders how Linny's discussion with the guards is going. Let's go see.
Understood.
Very good. Thanks.
You may spare the pleasantry.
You've arrived. Who's this? Me? I'm Spina di Rosula's guardian angel. If you've got a problem, Sorry, I got a little carried away there. Call me Navia. I'm a partner of theirs, and we'll be helping investigate this whole situation. And these are my companions. Would you mind if they join as well?
Fine by...
Oh, new helpers?
Well, let's just say we're tagging along. It's not every day you get to see the secrets behind magic performed on...
I appreciate your kind interest. Come with me. We'll be heading below stage.
Huh? Below stage?
Yes, a world of secrets is hidden beneath this magic box. But before I reveal everything, you should have a look first. Notice anything strange here? I'm not trying to be dramatic, remembering the details of a trick.
Huh. Weren't there balloons?
Ah, good eye. That's
The back? You mean the inside of it?
very good indeed. I thought you might not be able to catch that, given that you were sitting in the back of this door was patterned. Those patterns are now gone, replaced by a smooth wooden board. So, if you put 2 and 2 together, what do you get? Exactly. All right, let's go. I'll tell you how it works as we head down.
Oh, so there was a passageway on.
I knew you'd figure out most of it as soon as the 2 magic boxes are positioned right above the 2 entrances of the. See this flatbed trolley? The box with the lucky audience member in it would be shuttled over to the other side using the trolley.
This trolley can raise and lower and even rotate, ensuring that the box will face in the right direction.
I see. So that's the.
Precisely. The inner box.
So that's how you did it!
Once the box was lowered, the trolley would store some. The audience member would only be able to feel some.
Right! You were talking.
Ah, yes. A phone. My assistant and I had already scripted our conversation before.
And what about Lynette?
I was in the mezzanine space in the back of the box.
Oh,
That's how we were able to coordinate Linny's lines with the assistant. And by the way,
I mean, we are twins. All it takes is a change of clothes and no one can tell who's. And that's my favorite part of this trick. Only Lynette and I.
So that's how it all worked!
Lynette would briefly walk out of the box and then go back in, jumping into the tunnel and escaping before the box on the trolley. And then I walk out of the other box in the audience area. But as you saw, Cal was in the box, not our audience member. She, on the other hand,
we really don't know how that happened.
If not for that interlude, this would have been an astonishing trick. I probably never would have figured out how you pulled it off. And yet, to think that someone was able to use this magic trick to commit a. Could we have a look around? I think we can come up with some more leads.
This is the scene of the crime, so Linny and Lynette are not permitted to stay here. I'll escort them.
Yes, of course. No need to be so strict now. I won't disappear into thin air, you know.
Thanks, everyone. We're counting on.
Looks like a hook tied to the end of a rope. Huh?
Perhaps it was a prop for a different trick.
Whatever it is.
The floor is wet. Please be careful not to slip.
Speaking of which.
Oh! Hi, my nose! And here's a broken vase!
That. Oh, her clothes are here.
Right. And, this is so confusing. What is this place?
It seems someone could fit through here.
Could this.
Alone, perhaps.
But there are no other ways in or out. Oh, you're right. Let Paimon write that down. Seems we're just about done investigating down here.
Yes, let's head back up. ascertain the state. Let's find a place to sort out our...
Apologies for the wait.
So, what did the guards say? Did the criminal escape?
They believe the odds are very... The guards have checked the area
So the tunnels become like a secret.
In other words,
Charges?
That's right. This is how... That's right. The statement, to put it simply,
this also precludes...
once both sides, then...
In practice... Yeah. Because we've...
There can... And even if that were...
I'm ready to break.
Whoa!
Of course. I just...
In that case, let's just sort out our findings. I mean, what better...
Wait, just kidding. Paimon will still do her best.
What do you mean, no snacks? Of course we'll have snacks.
Huh?
Understood, demoiselle. Everyone, please come with me.
Wait, you're carrying a portable stove?
Yes, I must be prepared to meet the demoiselle's baking needs whenever the
I have eggs, sugar, and almonds at the ready.
Good work, you two. Then I'll get to it.
Please, these three are quite the interesting. And Paimon, from the way you had these two guys carrying all that stuff around, but you ended up doing the entire thing by yourself. Beating the egg whites, grinding them.
I was applauding.
And I was giving encouraging smiles.
Paimon was just...
Oh, don't underestimate anyway. Well,
Tea is ready to be served as well. No need for
all right then. However, the magician twins could...
Exactly! Why would
The flower vase and resulting in the shatter, perhaps the criminal...
Paimon thinks that...
But...
Could Halls...
That's right. And even if she had tampered, nor does she have any...
Were we not thorough enough in our search? From the sound of it, you're macaron. What?
Please don't worry about it. At my...
No, besides, Paimon knows that if she ate... Wait, even you don't believe Paimon? If Paimon ate those 2 extra macarons, then may they turn into stone and hurt...
All right, we get it. Well, Malus, set up the... Making sure everyone gets 3 macarons.
Exactly. We don't want to trouble...
As you wish, demoiselle.
And I have the egg...
Well, that's it for snack time. I don't know what we're... It would be... All
right.
It was nothing. A small task for the Spina di Rosula. Silver, Malus, it's time to go. I'll be back if I find anything.
All right, it's time to put our heads together. We've got to get our defense ready for the trial. What they say is true. You have to see the world for yourself to appreciate how beautiful it is. What do we do? Good plan.
Just relax. Even if everyone else suspects Lenny and Lynette. Besides,
Thanks, Navia.
Best of luck to you.
Finally, you're back. Well, how did...
To be honest?
No. We're
Well, now, don't you all look disappointed? That was to be expected, of course. The guilty can never produce proof, but don't let that stop you. I shall be terribly disappointed.
Since both parties are present, I declare that the trial regarding the magic show is... Firstly, in order for the audience to understand the causes and results of the incident, Could we please have Mr. Linney?
Yes, of course. I will explain while Lynette demonstrates on stage. All the
Thank you, Mr. Linney. In that case, I take your stick. You ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands once the trick began, and thus could not have committed the crime.
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
In that case, I call upon the prosecution. Lady Farina.
Why, of course I do. Allow me to take the first shot and break this case wide open. Mr. Linney is clearly lying. There is no way you could have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder Cowell. In fact, I'd say you were hardly in that tunnel.
That is simply your hypothesis based on the presumption that I'm guilty.
Oh, is that so? And if I may ask, what did you hear while...
The roaring countdown of the crowd, of course. That's how I kept track of the time and built anticipation.
And you didn't hear anything else at all? Nothing that might leave an impression?
No, nothing.
I see. But when the count reached 30 seconds or so, there was a thud. One so loud that I believe practically
Huh?
Hey, hang on.
Yeah, I'm sure he could have heard a noise that loud from inside the box.
I was right by the box and I definitely heard the thud.
Look at those scales.
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to use the words of the magician himself. You never... Of course, I have armed myself to do far more than smash your alibi. Confidence cannot go unfounded, and my foundation... Tell me, aren't you and Lynette actually from the House of the Hearth?
The House of the Hearth?
No wonder they did something like this.
So the serial disappearances were the Fatui's doing. Now it all makes sense.
I've got a feeling that what happened on stage probably wasn't just an accident.
That's irrelevant. Our identities have nothing to do with what happened.
Indeed. Then perhaps you could tell us your first priority is to prove yourself innocent. The Outlander is speechless. My, oh my, don't they look flabbergasted? Now comes the infight. Oh, good thing I made all those preparations. Seems the all-nighter I pulled last night is really...
Hey, Linny, why didn't you tell us this before?
Order! Order! Mr. Linney, allow me to re-establish the facts. Lady Farid, first, when the thud was heard in the Opera House, you were neither in the box nor the tunnel. Second, you and Ms. Lynette are both... Are these claims true? Please answer my question, Mr. Linney.
I'm sorry. Yes, they're true, Your Honor.
I knew it!
Well, that's it. We might as well move on to the sentencing already.
What should we do now?
Granted. In that case, what is your request?
Is that really necessary? They're already as good.
The defendant deceived their own attorneys. What is their...
Order! Order, I say! Your request is reasonable, and we shall adjourn. This trial will reconvene in 1 hour.
So you would stick to Mr. Linney's defense even after knowing what you do now? You certainly have more professionalism. In that case, my dear audience, let's allow the joy of victory to steep...
Well, this is awkward. I didn't think that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Paimon doesn't know where to start. We based our entire reasoning on the assumption that you weren't bad, not to set the wrong tone or anything, but
I'm very sorry. I know you're angry, and reasonably so, but please, I know you've clashed with the Vitui several times before. I wouldn't be surprised if just hearing the word is enough to make you upset. But our organization is very, very large, and the Harbingers have very different personalities and goals.
Right now, we want to save people. As many as we can.
That's right. I'm sure we're on the same page when it comes to this nation and the disaster that its people might. I knew if it weren't for our respective identities, we could become good. That's why I didn't wish to flat out lie to you, but just to hide some details instead. The truth is very important. Right. So, you be the judge. Heck, if I were you, I fear that I'd even struggle. You met a Fatus who works as a trickster by trade. But still, I'm asking you to trust me. I am no criminal.
Sorry. Please give us.
Well, you both say that, but right. Let's hear.
Of course. I'll answer. We've been trying to find out during our investigation. From that moment on, Lynette and I have been designing.
Is that why you needed a whole minute?
That's right. In truth, the audience would take about. So after into the tunnel,
That air vent was created.
well, what should have been impossible. That voice seemed to recognize me and tried to speak to me. On the way back, I saw the broken vase and the clothes on the ground. After that, the homicide occurred just as you saw.
Well, that explains why you didn't hear the thud.
Because of that prophecy I told you about, of course. We must know all we can.
That's the only way we can save every.
So, there you have it. The whole truth. It was never my wish to proceed under this cloud of mistrust, but like I said earlier, you can be.
Well, Traveler, you decide. Paimon will follow your lead however you choose.
Okay.
Thanks for giving us a chance.
The current problem is that the scales are tipped pretty bad. If we want to refute the Hydro Archon's accusations, we're gonna need a serious. Huh?
Both parties have returned to their positions. When last we left off, Mr. Linney acknowledged the new evidence presented by Lady Farina as fact. Therefore, Lady Farina may continue.
That took long enough. Now that at this stage, let's revisit that scene from Linney's perspective. Countdown began. When the flatbed trolley passed, he opened the box and he did not realize that the sound could be heard by everyone in the opera house, which is why he claimed earlier that he could. Finally, he used the vase to knock her out before making her change clothes to prevent others from At this time, Cowell arrived in the tunnel, having heard that strange noise. And so Linny proceeded to knock him out too before stuffing afterward. Linny passed the unconscious Halsey to his accomplice through the magic box in the audience stands before. And there you have it. That's the truth behind what happened.
Does the defendant's side have any objections to Lady Farina?
Key to refuting Lady Farina is the order of events. What Linny experienced and what he saw. Seems this won't produce. Hmm. Hmm. According to Lynn. Hmm. Hmm. Lenny went to the. Hmm. Hmm. Lenny did not.
Attention! When the countdown started, Lenny did indeed go into the tunnel, but he immediately used a vent to access the Opera House basement, which is where once he reached the area, he heard a voice in what should have been the crime scene had already developed by the time he reached the tunnel again. Finally, he reached the surface, and that was when the accident happened from... Paimon did it! Paimon...
In other words, you believe that he knew.
That's right!
My reasoning?
If that's the case, then if Carol hadn't entered the tunnel, assuming that what you say is true, Lenny only needed to kidnap the young girl to cause a new disappearance case. What?
Oh, they have a point.
That's right, you tell him! And that's why they're partners of mine. They've managed. Oh, well, your denial is very strident, I'll give you that. But what proof do you have to back your claims? Of course I do. If he had been in the magic box the whole time, how could he have not? You're saying that he wasn't?
Are you sure we don't need to give this more thought? Paimon thinks... That's right! Lenny wasn't in the box or in the tunnel. That's why he didn't hear it. This means that when the crime happened, Lenny had already entered the bait. The same clue you used to disprove his alibi has now become the best...
Well, to think you'd use such logic. Well then, if it wasn't Lenny who committed the crimes, then who was it?
Halsey is the missing person and an ordinary audience member. Or did she have her own scheme all... Could there have been a third person involved? The deceased's name is Cowl.
Huh? That can... The killer was...
Oh, is that so?
What I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowl did, and how he went from would-be perpetrator. No one entered or left the opera house through its entrances. The deceased's name is Cowl, Linny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment. No one entered or left. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal. Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our... It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. The deceased's name is Cowl. Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. No one entered or left the opera house through its Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment. It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. The deceased's name is No one entered or left. The deceased's name is Halsey's clothing was...
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you still...
Look, since we're at a dead end, why not consider it just like the trick as it transpired? The end result must have been utterly different from the...
If only we knew how Halsey...
Well, that would be nice, but the tunnel only has 3 exits. And it's not like this is a magic trick where you can just make a...
Excuse my interruption, dear opponents, but do you not see that the crowd is growing impatient?
If the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage of the trial.
Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment. The sound we heard made... The deceased's name is... The vase was not broken.
Paimon gets it! Lynette escaped. If there's a similar method where a...
Oh, just how could a person ever be transformed into water? Most magic tricks are ultimately
Even so, the truth must be out there somewhere. Perhaps some new line of reasoning, since Cal was the deceased, but given that we aren't making much progress...
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes when
Nevertheless, I believe that this is a reasonable request on the part of an attorney. Since the trial does indeed appear to be at an impasse, guards, please step into the lounge and examine the personal effect.
We are still examining the items, but we have already made critical progress that we feel must be shared with everyone post-haste. We discovered several test tubes of fluid within Cal. The notebook in his backpack claims that these fluids are...
the primordials.
The note's contents also indicate that Cowell belonged to an organization that sells illegal drugs and that he had an account. The notebook has many entries concerning safe use of these fluids, in which the keyword is... One of these tubes was labeled Opera Epiclese. The notes also state that these dissolution properties were exclusively on people from Fontaine. It's likely that Halsey was chosen as some sort of... As such, we believe that the defense's hypothesis is...
You've got to be kidding! People dissolving into...
Could something so ridiculous
Wait a moment. This reminds me of a certain prophecy, but it's just...
Huh. If people can become water, does that mean that the water tank's real use was as a means to hide water stains?
And if... Wait just a minute. Could that mean...
Demoiselle, wait! What about your partners?
Let's go. Just trust me.
Order! Order!
It is undeniable that further examination of the deceased's personal effects has yielded some surprising results, but we cannot yet verify the veracity of... Still, let us assume that these clues are indeed authentic, albeit with the understanding that Ms. Halsey has yet to be found. Guards, please continue examining the items along Mr. Linney. It appears your hypothesis is supported by the evidence. So...
Of course. Thank you. If we uphold this hypothesis, I believe that many of this case is seemingly...
Right! Like the metal heart! That one did... Let's think about this. Cowell's methods must have something to do with that water...
The rope that strung the water tank up was lit by the fire. The water from the primordial sea. Now it seems like the hook rope. Lynette was in the magic box on stage the entire time. I remember there was something else within the inner... The deceased's name is Cowell. The rope that strung the water... Lynette was in the magic box. Now it seems like the hook rope. The rope that strung the water from the primordial...
It's in the original plan. Cowell would tamper with the water tank rope. When the magic box containing Halsey was lowered, the metal hook would retract gradually and pierce when the balloon attached to the box popped. The water from the primordial sea. Afterward, Cowell would enter the tunnel and break the flower vase to conceal but he encountered something unexpected in the tunnel.
Huh. That does make sense.
That actually links together a lot of the more confusing...
Oh dear, what do I do? Even I think they sound convincing now.
Now, it seems like the only point of contention remained. His notes mentioned he had an accomplice who could be related to...
On that note, the guards have just contacted me indicating that they uncovered new evidence. I shall now invite him on stage to share it with...
Thank you, Your Honor. We were just... And we found an identical
What?
That can't be. Does this not clear all doubt, my dear citizens? My loyal... Linny did not need to take part in the dissolution of the... Having made modifications to the props beforehand, his accomplice Cowell... But upon his return, ultimately, he knocked Cowell out. Now, as much as I regret having come to such... Am I right?
We've used up all the evidence we... Is this the end of the rope?
Oh no! Seems using the what?
I think we've all seen enough now. I believe this is indeed the... Now then, my good, noble Chief Justice, should we not, in your view...
Excuse me, everyone, but I mustn't...
Miss, I must ask you not to shout and to respect the ongoing legal...
Oh, come on. Don't be hasty. I have a good reason for interrupting, you know. Now, would anyone here like to take a little break from all this debate? And I'll show you an amazing trick. One that can bring a young woman who has disappeared back in the flesh, right before your very eyes. What in the world is she...
No offense, miss, but miracles like that are beyond my scope as...
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic is all about misdirection, isn't it? It often conceals the truth while presenting... But once everyone believes the illusion, can't magic reveal the truth to them? And wouldn't such a trick be the most marvelous finale to... Come on, Lenny and Lynette. Give it another go. Don't worry. Spina di Respect, as the magic makers and stars of the show, I think I should leave the...
I understand.
And voila!
So wait, isn't that Halsey? So the whole thing about people dissolving wasn't true?
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so would lessen my sentence. I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one put on trial. I was just feeling happy that no one had noticed me. And then before...
That'll teach you to underestimate...
Where should I begin? I'm sorry.
What?
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. It's Lillian. And I heard that Linny's show was gonna be a real thriller, but I missed the chance to buy a ticket. That's how I make a living. I steal stuff here and there. And I'd never been, but I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago, and I barely got away.
Hey, no wonder you look familiar. You were the thief. Liddy even mentioned that you were pretty skilled.
Well, and I thought that would have been the end of it, but then the number selector chose me. He even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. That's a prison, isn't it? So you can imagine how shocked I was. I thought he was on to me for sure. So I played along with the show while looking for an opening to flee. But then I got water poured on me for no reason, and then someone jumped into the me. I wasn't going to take that lying down, so I knocked him out and stuffed him into the box. There was nowhere to run from there, though, so I had to change my clothes and hide in a box containing performance costumes. I slipped out after the first guard arrived at the scene and continued hiding in...
Can a person even hide in there?
But I swear, I didn't know that the water tank would fall down. Really, I swear it. Had I known that, I wouldn't have put him in the magic box. I may be if he...
Well, that makes everything pretty clear now.
This time, we need to tell the entire... The strange... The flower be... Lillian...
Having been selected, her panic only intensified after hearing the commotion. He did not know that Lillian, mistakenly believing that the two broke the flower Vic with no way of escaping.
She had already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons. So, she swiped two of them right under our noses.
At this point, all the events that happened in the tunnel have...
So that... Bravo!
Now then, Lady Farina, do you wish to... Please answer the question, Lady Farina. Also, if I may add, the trial has not yet ended. As such, I request that the prosecution not leave the room before the proceedings
What? Are you reading my... No. I have no further arguments.
Wow! Look at that!
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of Fontaine, I shall once again repeat... The actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowell, selected his next victim from the audience reservation list. With some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected young woman, To cover up any evidence while committing the deed, Cowell thought of allowing the water tank to fall, which would conceal the water left behind. He also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank to... He poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon during the preparation of the magic box. Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door. When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening the hook rope and bursting the balloon containing the water. If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Lillian was not from Fontaine, and thus fled the box with a loud noise. Realizing that there was trouble, Cowell entered the tunnel and met Lillian. However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious. Lillian, according to her own statements, then changed clothes and hid until... As for Linny, he was in the underground structures within the Opera House, and was thus, from this reconstruction of events, we can... While there is much in Linny and Lillian's conduct that should still... This case, at least, can be handed over to the Oratrice to make the final decision. As such, Linny and Lynette.
Great work, partner.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Next, I think we deserve an explanation, Go. How did you find the water from the primordial sea in...
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious mistake, you know. Or was that not a discovery, but false evidence that...
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's notes was not Linny. I'm sure you know what you must do to lessen...
Speak quickly! Unless you want to earn yourself a one-way ticket.
I was just following orders. We were supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Linny, and thus cause suspicion to fall on the Fatui. The higher-ups said this was the best opportunity...
And now that your plan has fallen through, and the secrets of the water have been revealed, you have become a liability. Therefore, you would be wise to tell everything you know, and seek the
Yes, I'll tell you. Our boss discovered that the water can cause people to dissolve. It can also be made into a potion, which when extremely diluted, can cause people to experience unforgettable exhilaration. We've been in this business for a while now, and have made decent mora off it. The disappearances were also the boss's idea. I mean, this is the boss we're talking...
And now he can no longer talk.
Such ruthlessness.
An outrageous act. All present, please submit to inspection immediately.
So, we're just going back now? That's true.
Traveler, Paimon, please wait.
Linny.
I know you may not want to speak to me right now. Maybe you don't even want, but still. Let me thank you again for defending me to the end. Even after, I guess. But regardless, I'd like the opportunity to set things straight. I didn't approach you with any ulterior motives or ill intent. I've spoken to you as myself, just plain Linny this entire... As for why I'm a Fatus, it's because the goals of the House of the Hearth align with those of an orphan like me. That was how Father, who you might know as the Knave, approached recruiting us back then.
The Knave? The one who controls the House of the Hearth?
That's right. And since we're here, I was wondering... Back when our parents first died, Lynette and I were left wandering the street. To survive, I took to surreptitiously observing an older street performer who did magic. It took me several days to figure out how I took my sister through several streets until we found a crowded corner. To my surprise, we proved to be pretty popular before long, and
So you went from
That was how we felt at first, but I gradually discovered that while we were called fuck, he would constantly take...
That doesn't too bad either.
It took a while for me to realize just after one particular performance at a banquet. I waited a long time after we returned home, but she did not come back. I went at Noble's bedroom and asked him. The answer he gave me was, she caught the eye of the most...
Oh no. But...
As far as outsiders are concerned, this is a relic. I managed to ferret out the location of all I saw was the moonlit ground covered...
So, she...
That's right. Father, I mean, the knave, the House of the Hearth welcome. I was hesitant to try, but she was also...
Oh, so that's how the...
She has gained permission.
So, she...
That's right. The whole house... Today's case has also proven that people from Fontaine can indeed dissolve into some sort of water. All of us house members here, to us orphans, the only connection...
So, from small...
It's all right. I just hope you can understand if you should need anything at all in the future.
Bye, Lenny!
Hey there! What was with the disappearing act you pulled right as the trial ended?
Were you looking for us, Navi?
Well, this whole thing isn't exactly over, is it? I do feel that... What's wrong, my dear partner?
Besides, are you sure we're the ones who can crack a case that's been cold for... And given that there's new evidence from the trial, there should be a trail of breadcrumbs for the...
Ah, I see. Well, I won't lie. I'm a little shocked to hear that from you. But sorry, I might have been too presumptuous.
Don't say that, Navia.
Ah, and we were having so much fun investigating with you, too. It was like having new waters flowing into a stagnant mire, causing new hope to spring forth, and the reflection in... sorry about that. I'm a bit prone. Wait, shall we have a farewell meal? You know, to commemorate...
Huh? Do we really need to get that formal?
Well, I'd just like to have a proper ending to every important memory. That way there are no regrets later. Anyway, it would just be a meal, so it shouldn't take up too much of your...
You don't have to twist Paimon's arm. If Boss Navi is treating, kill Paimon!
Oh, wonderful. In that case, why don't we return to the Court of Fontaine and head to the Hotel de Boer? I believe we'll...
All right, then. Let's have our farewell...
Take it easy.
I came here several times with my father when I was little. But...
Oh, don't worry.
In that case... whatever you like. If the food's good.
And if...
Well,
Yeah! Oh, we called this a...
Oh, true. Very true. It...
Speaking of cases, do you think that the mastermind behind the serial disappearances will get caught soon now that the...
Well, we've certainly taken a big step forward, but I feel that's about it. We know that there's an organization that means to
If it hadn't happened right in front of us, Paimon wouldn't have ever...
Right? Yet it was because...
Ugh. If all...
In such investigations, even to be honest, I don't have high hopes for any follow-up that the authorities... It's not that I don't have faith in their ability. It's just that a different perspective is required and it's easy to go... Which is exactly why this those highful... Let's talk about something else. Like...
That's true. We didn't...
I've heard that there's a long line of...
Yeah.
Well...
Guess that's...
Well, one way would be to infiltrate a performance troupe at the op... I'm sure Lady Farino... Alright, I can personally testify that this one works. When I... valid point. You did defeat her in court, clearing citizens of hers from...
You mean that if we catch her, why don't we give it a try after this...
Huh? Paimon? No, it's...
Alright. Honestly...
Is that so? If we're all finished eating...
Yeah. Oh, so full. Paimon can barely float anymore. Nah, that would be so... Hey, Navia, what are you...
Oh, nothing.
Let's get ready...
So this is goodbye, huh? Well, if you do encounter any other trouble in any case,